Let's talk for a minute about a counter service environment where you have three different ways pretty much to give a customer food. You have the dine-in approach where you don't really care about seat positions, just the food's going to be passed on a tray over the counter to the customer. Or you could give it to them in bags so that they can take it out or take away. And then you actually have the drive-through section where it's bagged, but it's actually given to the customer in their car. And there's three different ways that we can actually ring those orders in. And you can see that there are the dine-in, the takeout, and the drive-through. And that's just about directing the food service, where the bagger is going to take the food or where the person who's putting it on the tray is going to take the food. So let's take a look. Okay, let's do a takeout order. Now you see this screen looks very different than the ones that we've already been playing with. Mainly, this color scheme is going to stay the same. The other one is a little bit more editable. Now the pictures can be edited, but as far as the color scheme, it's going to stay very similar to this if you were just to say, hey, let's show the quick service. Now you can edit the colors, but if you're just going to toggle between the two screens, this is what you're going to end up with. So you can see that there are items here. Mainly there's a quantities section here that's available. Instead of actually having to push a quantities button at the bottom on the other screen, you can see that it's available. So you can just say, you know, 2 beverages, 2 apple juices, and then you can actually go and say 3 sets of onion rings and you're good to go. And we're just going to go ahead and settle it. And that's pretty much a takeout order. Now, we could do dine-in the same way. Let's just for review purposes, you can see that the screen is very similar. And you can see that there's the quantities button here too, but it's extra clicks. So it's great to use the quick service screen in counter service environments. Now, with drive-through, same exact thing. You can use the quick service screen or use the regular menu. But when you're ringing in items, you know, it's gonna at the very top you can actually see it says drive-through or dine-in or takeout, and that's really to direct the bagger or the trayer who is ever actually preparing the food. So let's ring in an order and then actually look at some modifications of the order. Let's create an order and add a customer's name to it. So you have a bunch of people standing around waiting for their orders, and you just want to be able to call out their names. They can take their food and then they can go. So let's grab a Dr. Pepper, a chicken filet sandwich with French fries, and let's say he wants a piece of cheesecake to go. Let's add the customer name, and let's say this is Jeremy. So now you can see the entire order here, and then it's a takeout for Jeremy. And so that's his entire order. And you can also see right here, all of these dynamic keys that you saw on the settle screen earlier are all right here. The exact change, the next rounded up dollar amount, the next logical denomination of dollar bill, and we're going to go ahead and pick that one. And his change due is going to be $4.52. And we can actually have that change due screen hold for longer or hold until done, so that people can really have enough time to see the change due. All right, let's talk about modifiers. We're going to ring in an order, and then we're going to add or maybe subtract a few items, and let's see how it turns out. Let's grab a beverage, and then we'll grab a sandwich. Let's get this steak and cheese sandwich. Now, granted, these are forced modifiers. What kind of bread do we want? We're going to go with white bread. And what kind of side do we want? Now, again, I said that we have 7 layers of these sub-level items that we can edit. So it's a pretty cool feature. So he's going to have French fries. So you see his invoice is populated here. And let's go ahead and modify his order. So here is 2 items right here. And we can actually toggle between the two. And really, there's nothing to modify with a Coke unless you want to say no ice or something like that. So let's modify his steak and cheese sandwich. Now you can see here that here's the actual item, and here are the sub-level items up top. We have the white bread and the French fries. So we can definitely go back and re-edit those, but let's go ahead and modify his sandwich. Let's say the guy really likes cheese, and we can just click around on these buttons. We have the no, the light, the add, exchange, you know, all those different things. You can add toppings and you can add pricing to all that. Now we're going to really dive into this at menu programming, but I at least want to introduce the concept when cashiering or when ringing in items, how you can bring in extra or subtract things. So let's go ahead and say he wants a lot of cheese, and we have 3 different price levels here. We've got the medium, the large, the extra large, and then the free. So we're going to charge the guy an extra $1.25 each, and you can see it right there. And let's go ahead and finish it, and we're done. One of the things I would like to discuss is this entire bar down here. You can see that we have voids and reorder round that we showed you earlier, holding items that we've discussed as well, splitting tickets, combining tickets, and then we've got the miscellaneous button, which I do want to explain to you, and where you can do half portions, you can do quarter portions, you can do a variety of different things there. Now, if you want to look at the details of the order, you're going to press this button, but it's not as useful as you would hope. This is that quantities button that we discussed, where you can apply discounts here if you want to add a surcharge or if you want to actually grab a credit for a specific customer, you have that. But let's hone in on this miscellaneous key for a second. This miscellaneous key is designed to give you the flexibility to access features within the software that may be more permanent features that you can add or that you can have as fixtures on other screens, like you have this retail screen button right here. This can take you to this screen that's for retail items. Now, the great thing about this is that you can sell retail items without, let's say you have dine-in, takeout, delivery, drive-through, and you're like, I just don't have room to assign the retail screen. Well, this miscellaneous button is what's going to help you. The person's dining in or their drive-through, whatever. In this case, they're dining in, and you want to hit that miscellaneous key, access the retail screen, and be able to sell some of your retail items with barcodes and everything that you already have on there. So you can see right here that you have the quantities. You can manually add the price. Now, you have to have specific security settings for cashiers to be able to change prices and things like that. And then you have the manual entry of a barcode. You can void the item, apply surcharges and discounts. The customer lookup feature is pretty great because you can assign a customer to that order. And one of the huge benefits is they're getting food and they're getting retail at the same time. And that's where you're going to have to access this screen to be able to do that. Now, if you want to go back, you can actually hit touch screen and it'll go back to this screen, okay? So let's go back to that miscellaneous key again. You can clear the order, do a no sale. Some of these features, what they tried to do is really gather all of the functions that people may specifically want while they're creating an order and give them the ability to modify it or use other features. And that's the use of this bar.